The head of MI5 is to urge the public to be as vigilant about threats from hostile states as from terrorism. These include disruptive cyber attacks, misinformation, espionage and. In a speech on Wednesday, McCallum will say these less visible threats. He will say these threats are affecting UK jobs and public services and could even lead to a loss of life. The head of the security service wants to challenge the idea that activity by so-called hostile states, usually taken to mean primarily Russia and China, only affects governments or certain institutions. Instead, he will argue, in an annual threat update, that the British public are not immune to the tentacles of covert action by other states. In the speech at MI5's Thames House headquarters, Mr. McCallum will warn the consequences range from frustration and inconvenience, through loss of livelihood, potentially up to loss of life. These include cyber attacks. China is often accused of seeking to steal information for commercial gain, but Russia and China have both been accused in the last year by Western governments of targeting vaccine research, allegations they have denied. The warning comes amid growing fears that cyber attacks by states, or by criminal groups sheltered by states such as Russia, could take down critical infrastructure like water or power or healthcare, leading to a loss of life. Scene 12. In 2017, a cyber attack linked to North Korea took down parts of the NHS, affecting appointments, and a recent attack linked to criminals in Russia took down a pipeline supplying half the fuel to America's East Coast. As well as claims it may have tried to increase skepticism about the Oxford vaccine, Russia was directly accused by the government of trying to influence the 2019 general election and was linked to interference in the US 2016 election. The government faced criticism for delays in releasing the so-called Russia report from the Intelligence and Security Committee, which looked at this. Traditional espionage, spies stealing secrets, also continues, but sometimes in a more modern way. One example comes with foreign spies targeting people over professional networking sites like LinkedIn, often associated with China. MI5 recently launched a campaign called Think Before You Link to raise awareness. We have seen over 10,000 disguised approaches from foreign spies to regular people in the UK, seeking to manipulate them, McCallum will say, referring to a 5-year period. UK victims of state espionage range way wider than just government. We see the UK's brilliant universities and researchers having their discoveries stolen or copied. We see businesses hollowed out by the loss of advantage they've worked painstakingly to build. Given half a chance, hostile actors will short-circuit years of patient British research or investment. UK jobs, UK public services, UK futures, the MI5 head will say. If you are working in a high-tech business, or engaged in cutting-edge scientific research, or exporting into certain markets, you will be of interest, more interest than you might think, to foreign spies, he will say, arguing people should be switched on rather than scared. Mr. McCallum will call for a response across government and society, including increased public vigilance. We must, over time, build the same public awareness and resilience to state threats that we have done over the years on terrorism, he will say. The government is currently consulting on new legislation to counter hostile state activity, including a requirement for those working for foreign governments to register and updates to the laws surrounding espionage and secrets. General of MI5 in April 2020. This is the second annual threat update since Mr. McCallum became director. He is also expected to address the current terrorism threat, including Islamist extremism and Northern Ireland activity, as well as that from the far right, which MI5 recently became involved in monitoring. Some analysts worry it could lead to a resurgence from Al-Qaeda, which plotted the September 2001 attacks from the country. MI5 warns of spies using LinkedIn to steal secrets. North Korea blamed for global cyber attack. Massive cyber attack hits 99 countries. Education could have stopped my sexual assault. What do we know about China's COVID-19 vaccines? The Islamic State children facing life locked up. New bid to find murdered British backpacker's body. 9.